Hi, I'm Charles Darling. Today we're going to be breaking down how I made my music video, Electric Blue. If you don't want to know how I did it, if you don't want to spoil the magic for yourself, then probably don't watch this video.
Good morning, I'm Sarah Hollingwood, and on today's show,
This is the 16th cut of this music video, and I recently realized that there's a mistake in it, and I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'll give you a clue. I'm not going to give you a clue because that would spoil it. But if you find it, let me know.
Love lightning is caused by various different reactions within the brain, which creates an electro-emotional charge.
So when I was coming up with the idea, I really wanted it to have kind of a basis in logic. There was actually a much longer scene that had fictional neurological terms in it and all sorts of stuff, which unfortunately had to be cut because it was taking too long to get into the bulk of the music video. Another thing that's kind of interesting about that scene is the three different aspects of the scene were all shot on different days. So the stuff with me here in the bedroom, that was one of the very last things we shot. And if I just rewind it a little bit, so Jared here in the corner, the scientist guy, that was actually the very first thing we shot. I did a Zoom call with him and we shot that scene. And then the bulk of shooting that didn't involve exclusively me, the very last thing we shot for that was Emily's scene. So each part of that scene, all three elements, were kind of shot about a month apart from each other. There's lots of details in this scene. So the toast that I was eating was really cold, and the eagle-eyed viewers among you might notice I don't actually drink any of the orange juice because I was paranoid that the takes wouldn't match up. So I didn't want to drink it and in one shot the glass be full and one shot the glass be empty. Kiss my head from intervening. So this scene here, I'm going to break this down a little bit at a time. So this shot here of me on the road is nowhere near the house that we shot the mum and the baby. I did a color grade on it so you can't quite tell, but the day we shot the stuff of me walking on the road, it was really overcast and it was actually quite a dark day. But the shot outside the window of little Luke, it was actually really quite a sunny day, so I had to try and digitally make them match up a little bit. I find your touch so intriguing. Something that you might find quite interesting about this scene here, this was the second time Anna and I had really spoken in person, so we weren't really sure what to talk about, and in the end I think we started talking about our favourite fast food. So this jacket that I'm wearing, I actually painted this myself. If you actually look really closely, it's not symmetrical because the lapels have slightly different patterns on them, and that's not intentional. It's because I hadn't really figured out what I was doing yet. So we're right inside when I'm next to you. The sparks fly bright, wild, electric blue. So here, the point where I faint, there are two crash mats underneath me. I wasn't, hitting the pavement. I hit a mat. But it was right by a road, and people, who were kind of around thought it was very, very weird. And I did very nearly kind of bounce off it. So intense is taking over you. Something that you may or may not notice as we go through, whenever I needed a prop of some kind, I tried to make sure it was always blue. So in this scene, we've got a toothbrush, and in a future scene, I believe there's a folder. Because my character and Anna's character, I wanted there to be kind of an implication that they're drawn sort of to the color blue, but they don't know why. Because they obviously haven't discovered, previous to this point, they haven't discovered that they generate blue lightning. So that's why the toothbrush is blue. My whole life I felt like I'm floating adrift, but I'm sure that... Unfortunately, because of the scheduling, the cafe that we used, we could only shoot for a very small amount of time. So the stuff with the younger couple and the older couple, anytime you see them was on the first day. But this shot here of me looking at them, I'm actually looking at no one because we had to go back a second day because we ran out of time. And actually, Something else that I wanted to take into consideration was costume. So my character at the beginning is wearing black everything, black trousers, black t-shirt, black jacket, very colorless to kind of reflect. He's not very optimistic that he's going to find love or find lightning. He's kind of given up a little bit. But as things start to happen step by step with Anna's character, the wardrobe becomes a little bit more blue. In this scene here, almost everything is the same. It's the same jacket and jeans as previous scenes, but the t-shirt underneath is a slightly shiny dark blue. Get caught up in the... So in this set, we had so much to shoot in a really, really short amount of time. We were really, really rushed on this day, and I didn't notice it until watching it back, but that is just the most haphazard, terrible sellotaping I've ever seen. So here we have the kind of main shot of myself and Anna, and what I did both here and during the first encounter where we meet is I added a very subtle zoom to kind of pull the audience member in and feel like the two characters are almost leaning towards each other, like they're kind of being pulled, which is very reflective of what I was going for lyrically. When I was writing the song, the basis of the idea was about being kind of drawn to someone without even realizing it. So that's why there is a subtle zoom there. There's something between us. Feel it too. This is a shot of the papers that Anna's just dropped, but this was actually the very, very last thing that was shot for the music video, and it was kind of a reshoot. If you pay very, very careful attention to the flooring, it's a different floor. I forgot to shoot the characters leaving the scene. It just kind of stopped, and we were pressed for time, so I guess I just forgot. But also what I was saying earlier is that's the blue folder, because Anna's character has been sort of accumulating the color blue a little bit in her life as well. And what I wanted to do here, I took the folder and I burnt it a little bit to try and convey the intensity of this electricity that the two people share, and why it's so tremendously rare that they have this blue lightning is because it's so incredibly powerful that people just assume it wouldn't be possible. It's resulted in singeing her files. So this was the very first scene that I shot with Anna. Anna is in, I think, 5 scenes. Anna had kind of 1 week of shooting in little pieces. I asked her if she would be interested in being in it on the Tuesday, and then we shot this scene on the Wednesday evening, and then we shot another scene on the Friday, and then another scene on the Sunday. So it was quite intensive. But baby, it's only up to us, 'cause life's... What I tried to do here when I was shooting is Anna is on the left-hand side of the screen, and my character is on the right-hand side. It's to convey that there is a mirroring. In a way, each person is filling up the empty space in the other person's shot, kind of to convey that they are the missing piece of that person's life, maybe. So as I spoke about earlier, my character's choice of outfit is influenced by his acceptance of his love lightning situation. At the beginning, he's kind of freaked out by it and confused, and at the end, he's made a decision to go to the support group because he wants to pursue love regardless of everything else. This was a shot that is meant to kind of be what's going on inside my character's head. It's sort of a physicalization of that feeling where your emotions kind of surge up and takes you over a lot more. For the lightning at the end of the video, I had to animate the lightning in a frame at a time. I've shot this at 24 frames a second. As some of you may know, and some of you may not, that means there's 24 kind of little pictures per second. And there is at least one little bolt of lightning per frame. So I think I figured it out. There's something like 720 little things of lightning. So I pretty much spent a week solid putting each of those in. Something you might be interested to know here is I'm not wearing any shoes in this shot because Anna and I are slightly different heights. I'm a little bit taller than her. So I wanted to make sure that our heads were kind of at the same level in frame. So I took my shoes off to make myself a little bit shorter so that our heads kind of matched up a little bit better. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. I've been Charles Darling. I'll see you again soon.